Now I'm honoured, delighted to host an interview with Princess Angelika Jaroslawska Sapieha. Princess Angelika is a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, a humanitarian, and I'm pleased to say a friend. She is also an international peace ambassador, a prominent activist against the use of landmines. Welcome, Princess Angelika, to Peacekeepers Live. We're so honoured to have you with us here today.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's such an honor to be with you on this special day for both of us, because Peacekeepers Day was a great inspiration for your work, for mine work. It's a special day, and to be here at the Peacekeepers show, Peacekeepers Live, is a special experience for me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Could you briefly tell us about your life, your career, your journey to where you are today?
Thank you for these beautiful words at the start. So first of all, I'm International Peace Ambassador. That's the most important for me. I'm initiator of One Mine, One Life campaign, philanthropist, humanitarian, patron of several demining organizations, and that was my greatest inspiration, the work as a peace ambassador. I was so privileged and lucky enough to study at the secondary school and then high school under the patronage of United Nations. So since my young age, I learned about United Nations, and it was a great inspiration for me. I strongly believe that the peace education should start at a young age. That is why I initiated the international contest, Children Painting Peace on Earth. As you know, at the United Nations, during the CSW Forum, assisting the Commission on the Status of Women, there was an exhibition of these beautiful paintings from children from all over the world. Of course, it was assisted by the peace education lessons. So peace should start when we are young, and we should start with the children.
Fantastic, thank you. Completely agree, absolutely right. So what drives you to do so much for peacekeeping? Tell us about that passion that really drives you to do the work that you do.
I think I have a very strong sense of duty, but also passion, as you said. It's a passion, definitely. And also a strong belief that we as a human being can make a change, each of us individual, but also we can inspire others to make a change. That is also what I strongly believe in. And for us as a philanthropists, humanitarians, the most beautiful thing on earth is to see that other people are inspired by our work and they do the same. And it's very hard to say how many people we can inspire on our path, but if they will make even a small change, if they will change someone's world, their life, their microcosm, it's a great difference. And that is the greatest reward for me. I received a special title, Peace Ambassador, from the Ukrainian former United Nations peacekeepers. And that was a great honor, privilege, and a moment which was a tipping point, because it also enabled me, and I was privileged enough to travel to the places around the world which are sometimes risky under the conflicts and wars, and to help people there, and also to be the voice of those who don't have any. And also great inspiration for my work was this beautiful distinctions which I received, a commemorative Medal of Peace from the former United Nations Peacekeepers meeting in Commit, usually given for the peacekeepers of United Nations. And I received this special distinction for my humanitarian work as an individual, but someone who strongly believes that we can make a change. And I work with many beautiful organizations around the globe, and I'm glad and privileged to be also with you in your joint effort, because that's how we can make a change, creating bigger and bigger community around us.
Fantastic, thank you. How do you make sense of the behavior of human beings as we're seeing the destruction of each other and our planet? I mean, we talk intellectually about everything being different, but do you think humans are actually capable of doing it, of walking the talk?
Absolutely, and we all should believe that we can make this change, because this change is needed and it's necessary and must be done. We as a human beings were able to travel to the space, to the moon. So why we should have any hesitation that we can create a system of education, most of all, because I think that education is the key, but also system of understanding, which is also connected with education, to prepare another generations which will be able to bring peace, to change the world, to make it a better place. We need to be an example for a young generation, of course, but we also need to do everything in our power to create a system of education for the new generations which will support this process. And that is why, for example, I prepared this project, Young Changemakers, the series of books which have their premieres at the United Nations, the books about respect for other cultures and religions, about the beauty of other cultures, about heritage and art, about sustainable development goals. These books will be released in many places around the world. I will travel with these books to the poorest families which I visit. And here I would also like to mention that I try to inspire others by sharing the information on social media, on my website, as you know, but most of the places which I visit are the one which I can show on the social media, like, for example, hospices without any windows, without furnitures, without medicines, where I visit women with the children under the mosquito nets, laying on the beds without any power. And I support such a places, and I encourage other people to see these places, to visit my website and to see where they can directly support these organizations or places. As you know, I support schools in Africa, Asia, in Europe as well. Some of the schools, for example, in India, are under the viaducts. Hundreds of cars are traveling through every minute just above their heads, but still they are affirmed to learn. They wear uniforms and they feel blessed because they received a privilege, a possibility to learn, to escape the circle of poverty. As you know, as a humanitarian, I support children and families in many different countries, in Ukraine, in Moldova, in many countries in Africa, in Asia, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. It's an effort, but most of all for me, it's important to encourage other people to do the same, to create this tipping point, to create the butterfly effect. That is why the One Mind, One Life campaign have a symbol of the butterfly, symbol of transformation.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You know, I was thinking, when you have a show like this, we create experience like this, and I think about all the different people that I have the privilege of, you know, ringing up and asking if they're a peer, including yourself. And I just think, you know, the people that you're listening to today, the people that you're seeing on this show, are right on the front lines of trying to create peace. It's absolutely incredible, the work that you do and the other people who are appearing today, and of course many who aren't appearing. I mean, just absolutely amazing. And you all of those places that you travel to, you're making films, you're writing books, you're doing education materials, you work with the United Nations, you're raising awareness of landmines. I mean, let's talk about that landmine issue. Could you tell us you know, about the landmines and the devastation they cause? I mean, just tell us what landmines are doing.
Absolutely. As you know, it's my number one dream to support the creation of a mine-free world. And still I'm always surprised that so many people don't know about the landmines which are killing and maybe children every day. So over 60 million people across the globe woke up in a fear of being killed or injured by landmines. It happens every day, and every day someone steps on a landmine, is killed or maimed by landmines. You see, so many years ago Princess Diana went on a minefield, and still there are landmines today, those who lay under the ground for decades, and also newly planted landmines. I will tell you about this today. I was on active minefields just to raise awareness and show to the world that there are still landmines killing and maiming children, which deprive them of a normal life. Sometimes these children are absolutely excluded from a normal life. So many children are in orphanages. They can't go to school, they can't have any work, they don't even have protheses, they can't afford it. So it's just happening today. And you know, landmine is a perfect soldier, and never sleeps, it never eats, it can lay under the ground for decades until it will explode under the child's feet. So this is a terrible death toll. And I mentioned to you a newly planted landmines. So in Ukraine, there are newly planted landmines. Ukraine became the largest minefield in the world. And these newly planted landmines by Russian troops, they are looking like a butterfly. There are many different landmines, of course, but the one which I want to mention to you looks like a butterfly, like a child plastic toys. There are many colors, so sometimes they are called parrots landmines. They are destined and designed to attract the children's eyes, and if the children will pick this very light mine, can play with this mine, and then it will suddenly explode. What will happen next, you can imagine. It's just destined to maim.
Yeah.
So my goal is to not only support the mining action as I do for years, but also to raise awareness that we should, as a global community, do everything in our power to just ban the landmines, because they are killing and maiming civilians and children. They are on the places where people have agriculture, they are behind the houses and behind the schools. So they are preventing also agriculture, which also affects us as a global community in terms of climate change, in terms of food delivery, everything. And my goal is also to create a new and advocate for this new SDG goal, a mine-free world, SDG, so Sustainable Development Goal 18. And I can say with a great pleasure that there is already this goal in Cambodia. So Cambodia have 18 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal, a mine-free world, and if it will happen to be a global goal, one of these goals which we all celebrate and do everything in our power to achieve them, then it would significantly support the mining action, of course, mine risk education, which is vital for children, for preventing people to touch the landmines, to pick up the landmines from the ground, but also for, of course, for mine awareness, so the global awareness about landmines.
Amazing. So, I mean, would you say that your number one passion, I mean, look, there's just many things that you're doing. I know that of you. I mean, it's incredible the work that you do in so many wonderful ways, and well done to you for doing it and working as hard as I know that you do. I should
say the same about you
here.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had the pleasure of being with you and spending time with you in Poland as we went down to the border of Ukraine, and I mean, and I know, I mean, you just don't ever stop, do you? I mean, would you say that the landmines is your sort of prime focus? I mean, you're doing many things. Would you say this particular issue is the number one issue for you?
Yes, I think so. I support many hospitals, orphanages and schools, also building schools as well. It's important for me, education is important for me, but landmines, you see, landmines are against all the human rights. They are against all the principles which we share, in which we believe as a human family. If we still create a death tolls or don't have enough power to clean them from the ground from decades, and they are killing children, I believe that it's against everything else. So being safe, being secure, is a human right. And everyone can be a victim of the landmine. So it also takes international support to clear the world from landmines. So, for example, if in Cambodia there are landmines, without the international support, as you know, I'm patron of several demining organizations there, without this international support, without this creation of the snowball effect, Cambodia would be not able to clean the country from landmines, because it takes a lot of work. You know, landmines is quite cheap, but to clean the landmines, it costs much more, and it's always putting in a risk someone's life, because those who are clearing the landmines are risking their life every day. So many peacekeepers, we speak about United Nations peacekeepers, so many people devoted their life to clear Cambodia from landmines, to clear the world from landmines, to go on the humanitarian issues. I was so deeply honored to receive also special distinctions from UN TAC, from these missions at Cambodia, United Nations missions. So Cambodia is just an example. There are many countries around the world that are still landmines. So I think that it's very vital to think about this as one of the main conditions if we want to achieve a peace.
Fantastic. We've got a few seconds left, but before we go, if people want to help in relation to what you're doing with landmines, or indeed any of your work, how can they?
Please visit my website or One Mine, One Life website to learn about the organizations which I support, and please support them as well. That is my greatest desire, but also to learn about places which needs our urgent support in terms of humanitarian assistance, not only landmines, but also education and school. I will publish soon more about especially India and Asia.
Thank you so much, and the very best of luck with the incredible work that you do. It's wonderful to see you here today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck, okay?
Good luck,
on
blessings.
your journey.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you, Princess Angelika, for joining us today. As I just said, your dedication to peace and inspiring words means so much. We wish you luck with your incredible work.